Welcome to Camden Yards in Baltimore as the fans make their way in for the middle game of a three-game series between the Red Sox and the Baltimore Orioles. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, last night the Red Sox with a nice victory, and Jerry, they powered up to get it done.
Well, it was good to see, Don, because the Red Sox offense was a little stagnant down in Tampa Bay, and it came to life here last night, and especially with the home run ball. You had David Ortiz, first of all, hitting a home run that just kind of barely made it on the right field, but it was one of those high home runs. Delman Young goes back up, he can't quite get it, and that's one for the Red Sox, followed by Hanley Ramirez. Gets a flat breaking ball right there, loses his helmet as he always does, but takes it out of the ballpark. That ball was crushed. And the big one, Brock Holt on a fastball inside from Darren O'Day, has that big home run late in the game for the Red Sox, and plus gave the Red Sox a victory. So it's good to see those guys swing the bat with power now. And, you know, a lot of guys haven't got hot yet. Look at Mike Napoli has not got hot yet with the home run. Sandoval with the home run. So you can expect a lot of them before the season's over.
Red Sox trying to make it 2 in a row tonight against the Baltimore Orioles. They'll send Justin Masterson to the hill. He's 2-0 and just beat the Orioles last time out. He'll be matched up against Wei-Yin Chen. The first pitch from Baltimore is coming your way next. Toyota's website for deals via Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union. See what DCU can save you. Your local Subaru dealers. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous
Welcome back to Camden Yards in Baltimore as the Red Sox and Orioles get ready for Game 2 of the series. And let's check out tonight's Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts leading it off and in center field for Boston with Dustin Pedroia at second base. David Ortiz at DH bats third with Hanley Ramirez in left field. Mike Napoli at first base slides up to the 5 spot. Pablo Sandoval bats sixth at third base. Alan Craig getting another start in right field with Xander Bogarts back in there at shortstop batting 8th and Ryan Hannigan doing the catching and batting 9th. Tonight's Orioles starting pitcher presented by your New England Nissan dealers. Wei-In Chen getting the start tonight for the O's. His 4th start of the year, 0-1 with a 3.07 earned run average. 11 strikeouts to 8 walks. Opponent sitting at 212 against Chen. As Chen matched up here against the Red Sox last time out, a loss, 4 1/3, 3 hits, 5 runs. None of them turned out to be earned. He walked 5, struck out 3 in the loss.
Tonight's Oriole defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 12th in the league with 12 errors in 17 games. Manny Machado at third base, Everett Cabrera the shortstop, Ray Navarro at second, and Chris Davis the first baseman. Left to right, Alejandro Diaz, Adam Jones, and Travis Snyder, and Caleb Joseph doing the catching for Wei-In Chen.
Umpiring crew tonight, Will Little has the plate calling the balls and strikes with Toby Basner at first base, Chris Conroy at second base, and the crew chief and third base umpire Dana Demuth. Well, the weather conditions here tonight in Baltimore at Camden Yards, 52 degrees with a breeze out to right at 5 miles per hour. Forecast is for cloudy and cool, and right now it is certainly that. There was a chance for some showers later on, but hopefully we are in good shape here as Mookie Betts stands in to get it started. Wei-In Chen on the mound. A fastball, curveball, slider, and a change. Mookie Betts sitting at 215 so far in the season as he stands in. Red Sox coming off the victory here last night in Game 1 of the series. And a pitch in there for strike 1. Mookie Betts at 215 with 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. Lays off a pitch that runs away, and it is 1-1.
You mentioned on that last game that Chen pitched against the Red Sox 4 1/3, but did have 5 walks in that ball game against Boston.
In there for strike 2. Here's the arsenal for him. 59% of the time fastballs for Wei-In Chen. Strike 3 call, kind of a delayed call for Will Little. And Mookie Betts getting the bad news. Wei-In Chen strikes out the first batter he faces tonight.
John Farrell made some comments after the game last night about how bad Dana Demuth was behind the plate, and you have to wonder, you know, what's going through the minds of the umpires tonight. Now, that's a good pitch on fastball inside corner, but will the strike zone be a little bit bigger against the Red Sox tonight?
1 down here in the first inning for Dustin Pedroia.
And I go along with John. Demuth was terrible last night behind the plate, especially when Ogando was out in the mound.
Now Pedroia on the ground at deep third, backhanded by Machado. Long throw and plenty of time to get Pedroia 2 down.
Machado's got 3 errors down at third base. The Oriole defense has not played the way they are capable of, but that's more like what we're used to seeing from Machado down at third base.
Well, he's headed over to the right side into the shift here on David Ortiz. As David coming up here with 2 down in the inning. And a big night last night. One of the 3 big home runs the Red Sox hit in last night's win. A 2 for 5 night last night for Big Papi. And a foul back to the screen for strike 1. All-time RBI leaders as David Ortiz moving on up the list, just past Joe DiMaggio recently, and now looking for Fred McGriff next. Red Sox making a roster move before the ball game. Shane Victorino placed on the 15-day DL. They call up Matt Barnes from the Paw Sox. And it seemed as if that was kind of inevitable right now, unfortunately for Shane Victorino, and back onto the DL again.
And the Red Sox go for a pitcher. They feel like they need a little bit of help in the bullpen right now, so they call up Barnes instead of another position player. And you got Brock Holt, who can play everywhere, so that helps.
Ortiz strikes out. A good first for Wei-Yin Chen. 2 Ks and a ground out. O's are coming up. First inning, Red Sox down in order. And take a look at the numbers for Justin Masterson. Starting pitcher is brought to you by New England Chevy Dealers. 4th start of the year, comes in at 2-0 with a 5.74 earned run average. Alejandro Diaz takes ball 1 outside. Last time out against these Orioles, 5 innings, 3 hits and a run. Walked 3 and struck out 6. The rain shortened game at Fenway Park. Fly ball to center. Mookie Betts going back, still going, and that's going to be over his head. 1 hop the wall. Betts plays the carom quickly, but into second base with a double is Alejandro Diaz.
Now Diaz came in a game, a 306 hitter against Masterson. He gets the fastball down in the zone and up over the head of Mookie Betts. Plays it 1 hop off the wall. Betts, of course, plays a shallow center field. That ball hit too hard to get underneath it. Too hard and too deep.
No Diaz at second base. Nobody out here for Jimmy Paredes, the DH. 320, 2 homers and 4 runs batted in since being activated last weekend. Outfield straight away on Paredes. Strike 1. Masterson 7-6 with a 5.28 ERA in 17 games, 13 career starts against Baltimore. Started here for the Cardinals a year ago. Took the loss, gave up 4 earned runs in 2 innings pitched. Was going from the Indians to the Cardinals last year at the trade deadline. This is line down the left field line in trouble. To the corner it goes. Alejandro Diaz coming around to score the game's first run. Back-to-back doubles to open the game here for the Orioles. And they lead it 1-0. Let's take a look at the O's starting 9. It's brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. We've seen Alejandro Diaz and Jimmy Paredes. Adam Jones bats third in center field with Chris Davis at first base. Travis Snyder in right field. Manny Machado at third base batting sixth. Ray Navarro at second bats seventh, with Caleb Joseph doing the catching batting eighth. And Everett Cabrera at shortstop bats ninth. Tough start to this first inning for Masterson. It's already the third double of the week for Jimmy Paredes. Adam Jones now doesn't get any easier in this Orioles lineup as Jones takes strike one. A .413 batting average, 5 homers and 16 runs batted in. Jones, the American League leader in batting average. The player hitting over .400 currently in the AL. Grounded back towards Masterson, knocks it down. It's time to recover and makes a good throw to first base to get Jones as Paredes takes third base.
The Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They are 8th in the league with 10 errors in 17 games. Pablo Sandoval at third base, and Bogarts the shortstop. Dustin Pedroia at second, Mike Napoli the first baseman. Left to right, Hanley Ramirez, Mookie Betts, and Alan Craig. And Ryan Hannigan doing the catching for Masterson.
One down, Paredes at third base. Red Sox going to bring the infield in. They're also going to go into a shift here. A little scary when you're in this close with Chris Davis standing in there on the left side. And he will take ball one a little bit low. 237 average, 3 homers, 8 runs batted in. Fouls it off himself, and it evens the count at 1-1. One for 3 in the ball game last night with a home run. And now ranks 9th as an Oriole on the Oriole Park at Camden Yards home run list with 66. Miguel Tejada is up next at 67. As that's in there for strike 2. Masterson trying to grab his bearings here after back-to-back doubles and a run here in the first inning. Paredes gaining his lead at third base. Sandoval trying to get as close as he can to third. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Tries to backdoor breaking ball right there. Not missing the outside corner by very much.
Fly ball hit in the air to right field, sending Alan Craig back. He'll make the catch, tagging at third is Paredes. He will score without a problem, and the Orioles jump out to the 2-0 lead. Sac fly for Chris Davis. Red Sox group tickets start at just $20. How easy is it to get 20 of your family and friends together? Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. Davis picks up his 9th RBI of the year, and the Orioles take a 2-0 lead. Now Travis Snyder. Snyder came into the game last night as a pinch hitter, gets the start tonight. 298 average, home run, 9 runs batted in. Right fielder tonight for the O's. Grounded to short where Bogarts gathers and throws out Snyder and ends the inning, but the Orioles grab 2 runs, take a 2-0 lead after 1.
second. Hanley Ramirez up to bat. And it seems, every time he's taking a swing, his helmet is falling off. So his helmet's getting lots of attention these days. So much so that it actually has its own Twitter account right now, which he laughed at today. And he says it doesn't bother him that his helmet's falling off more. It's only happening because he says he changed his hairstyle. So we made a bit of a friendly wager today. I bet that it's going to fall off 4 times in the game, and he bet 5 because he said he's swinging for those homers. So I'm going to keep tally, and we'll see by the end of the night.
It came off a lot last night, and for Hanley Ramirez, a good thing when it comes off. Usually a big cut, as right now hitting at .274, 6 homers and 13 runs batted in. Takes the 2-0 pitch, and that just misses. Chen wanted it. A good first inning for Wei-Yin Chen. 2 strikeouts and a ground out. 9-pitch first inning. Ramirez taken on the way in a 4-pitch walk to begin this second inning. So first base runner of the night for Boston is Hanley Ramirez. Runner on for Mike Napoli. 143. No homers and 2 runs batted in for Napoli. It's been a slow start to the season after a terrific spring training, especially from a power standpoint. Napoli with 6 home runs during the spring, and here we are getting towards the end of April. Mike's still looking for his first home run of the year. Seems strange. He is 0 for his last 10 at the plate.
He's talked about that in the open, Don. It was nice to see the Red Sox hit some home runs last night, and you got a lot of guys right now that are not hitting home runs, and they will, because that's their reputation. So this should be a lineup throughout the season that does quite a bit of that.
Fly ball to right field, down towards the corner and the pole, and that ball is going to be gone off the pole. Now's as good a time as any for Mike Napoli's first home run of the year. It's a 2-run shot, and it ties the game at 2.
Well, Napoli must have been listening to us, because he lifts one to the opposite field. You don't see him go deep that often to the opposite field. This ball right down the line and hits the foul pole. I think originally he thought it was going to go foul, but it stays in fair territory, hits the pole, and Napoli that quickly ties the ball game up.
4th home run given up by Wei-Yin Chen on the year. Now Pablo Sandoval takes ball 1, so the Red Sox 2-run deficit is gone. It's now 2-2, and it's going to feel good for Mike Napoli. Sandoval at .283, no homers and 4 runs batted in. He's swinging a miss there. Couple of hits here last night for Pablo, going 2 for 3 in the game, and now 4 for 15 on the road trip for Boston, which comes to a conclusion here tomorrow afternoon in the finale of the series. Well, for every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy. Make a donation to Boston Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy, the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Sandoval, it's a fly ball to left field. Out goes Cabrera. In comes Diaz, and Diaz calls off the Orioles shortstop for the first out of the inning.
We should mention we're playing this game in Camden Yards, but outside of Camden Yards right now, there's a lot of protesting going on, which has been going on throughout the city all afternoon, and a lot of folks have not been able to get into the ballpark because of it. Right now, a lot of the protesting going on right around the ballpark.
They have blocked off several of the streets outside, and the fans cannot get in here. They're expected to have a sellout here tonight at the ballpark, and as you can see, they are not in here. There's a ground ball to shortstop, and Cabrera plants and throws in time to get Alan Craig 2 down. So 2 away, and Xander Bogarts coming up. Xander at 302. No homers and 8 runs batted in.
And the reason for the protesting, a police abuse case earlier in the week that has caused a lot of tension here in the city over the last couple of days.
Chen falling behind here 2-0. Had a leadoff walk for Hanley Ramirez. Now it is 3-0. These close pitches that Chen wants. Xander Bogarts back in the starting lineup tonight. Brock Holt got the start last night at shortstop. There's a strike. 3-1 right down the middle. Right at the bottom of the zone. Full count.
Takes a little bit off the fastball again right there. 89 to get a strike. Running 3-2.
Popped up into the right side of the infield, and it's Navarro who makes the catch that ends the inning. Mike Napoli's first home run of the season ties this game 2-2. Federal Credit Union tomorrow at 1 p.m. Tom Caron and Jim Rice to preview Wade Miley's start. DCU Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Here's a drive out towards deep left center field off the bat of Manny Machado. And that ball is off the bottom of the wall. Played by Mookie Betts back in, but Machado stands at second base with a leadoff double. That is the third double of the night already for the Orioles.
And a 5-game hitting streak now for Machado. He jumps all over this first fastball right here out over the plate at 90 miles an hour and takes it hard into that left center field gap. Played well by Mookie Betts, and 2 bases again for the Orioles.
Machado in scoring position here right out of the gate in the bottom of the second inning. There's Ray Navarro. Made his major league debut last night. Got his first major league hit out of the way. Ryan Flaherty going on the DL yesterday. Joining Jonathan Scope. So Orioles in need of a second baseman. End up calling up Ray Navarro from AAA Norfolk. Hauls it off at the plate. Also got a big bunt down last night as part of the game. It's tight in the late innings. Up and away, and it is 1-2. We should also mention tonight that Buck Showalter is not here to begin the ball game tonight. Wade his father-in-law's funeral, so it is John Russell, the acting manager tonight for the Orioles. Buck Martinez is broadcasting Toronto Blue Jays baseball somewhere.
Yes.
1-2 pitch is popped up left side as Bogarts will backpedal to short left and put it away for the first out.
That's a big out right there for Masterson. You keep that man from advancing to third base with less than 2 outs. Navarro tried to pull the ball in his first couple of swings, but then gets that slider and pops it up to shortstop. So no advance for Machado at second.
One out, a runner at second base, and Caleb Joseph, the batter. 341 start for him, really filling in here for Matt Wieters to begin the year. With the Tommy John surgery and throwing from flat ground right now, but apparently not close to coming back here for the Orioles yet. But in the meantime, Joseph 14 for 41 so far in the season. Ball and a strike to Joseph. On the ground by the mound softly. Bogarts charging in, throws on the run and in time to get the Orioles catcher as Manny Machado takes third base with now 2 down. Be sure to follow NESN on Instagram to see all things behind the scenes this Red Sox season. Follow NESN at Instagram.com/NESN. 2 down with Manny Machado at third base. Everett Cabrera hitting at .241. No homers and 3 runs batted in. On the ground is short. Bogarts fields and throws. And Masterson works his way around a leadoff double by Machado. Game tied 2-2 at the end of 2. by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back at Camden Yards in Baltimore, game tied 2-2 as we head to the top half of the third inning. Ryan Hannigan, Mookie Betts, and Dustin Pedroia to face Wei-Yin Chen. Chen had a perfect 1-2-3 first inning. A leadoff walk by Ramirez, followed by the 2-run home run by Mike Napoli. Fly ball to right field as Travis Snyder over towards the line. Makes the catch for the first out of the third. Boston-based daily fantasy company DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of your Boston Red Sox, is giving out $300 million in cash prizes. Enter promo code NESSON to play for free. Mookie Betts, a strikeout victim in the first. Four in a row now retired by Chen. Both of his strikeouts coming in the first inning as Betts shoots one foul down the right field line out of play. Another slice off to the right. Chen operating at 92 miles an hour.
That fastball 92, the changeup to Betts was about 81. Got a couple of different breaking balls, a curveball, a slider.
Fourth start of the year for Wei-Yin Chen, second in a row against Boston. And he strikes out Betts. It was the third K, and the second time the Mookie Betts is down by way of the K.
And both times by the fastball tonight. This one elevated, probably out of the strike zone, but Betts chases it and strikes out for the 13th time this season to go along with 8 walks.
There's Pedroia grounded out to third baseman Manny Machado in the first inning, 0 for 1. Strike one at the top of the zone. Buck Showalter is back. John Russell starting the game as the acting manager. Imagine with him coming back here at game time with everything that's going on outside, probably kind of tricky for Buck to get back in here, but he is here. They had made it on time if not for what is going on outside. 1-1 pitch on the ground wide of third and foul. Attended services in Nashville today for his father-in-law. Ball and 2 strikes to Pedroia, 2 down here in the top half of the third inning. Sharply hit, but Machado laying it out at third, gets up and throws out Pedroia. Nice play by the Orioles' young third baseman. 2-2 the score through 2.5. Championship game live. Coverage begins at 1 p.m. To find your NESN Plus channel, visit NESN.com/NESN Plus. Bottom of the third inning, game tied 2-2. Alejandro Diaz at the top of the Orioles order. He started the bottom of the first inning by doubling off Masterson. He'd come around to score the Orioles' first run. 25 pitches, actually make it 26 pitches so far for Masterson. Swinging a foul tip. He's given up 3 hits, all doubles. And 2 quick runs in the first inning, but the Red Sox taking care of that with a 2-run home run by Mike Napoli to tie the score.
Pretty good pitch right there, almost the same as the third pitch. Right on that inside corner, but does not get the call.
Line caught by Pedroia. Reaches out, one step and a lunge. 1 out here in the third inning.
Well, we've seen some nice defense so far in this game. Machado for the Orioles at third base, and now Pedroia. Watch Pedroia jump. That's how he always prepares. He gets himself in the ready position. And then that step to the left and the robbing of a base hit from Diaz.
One down for Jimmy Paredes. And there for strike 1. Paredes doubled in the first inning. A little drive and a run of his own. To left and a base hit for Paredes. Well, he continues to be red hot. And aboard here with 1 out in the third inning, his second hit of the night.
Yeah, when you take a pitch like that, you can move it to the opposite field. You are hot. This ball gets in his hands. They want it inside. It is inside, but he's able to take the hands inside the baseball and put it on a line to the opposite field. That's a pretty nice hitting right there.
One out, one on. Adam Jones, the center fielder, grounded back to the mound. Masterson threw him out. Holding on Paredes at first base. Gets away from Hannigan, and up to second base goes Paredes. Wild pitch charge to Justin Masterson.
Tried that big sweeping slider this time, and not even close, and started off not in the strike zone, and there's no way Hannigan can get to that one.
Paredes in scoring position now with 1 out in the inning, and Jones ahead in the count 2-0. A strike called. That inside corner. Don't often see this kind of patience from Adam Jones at the plate.
Yeah, it looked like he wasn't expecting a ball inside in that particular 2-0 count.
Chris Davis on deck, 1 out, runner at second, and Jones reaches out, flares it into right field, and that's going to fall for a hit. Going back to second base is Paredes. He was not sure that Craig was going to get that. In fact, he thought Craig was going to catch it. He doesn't, so no advance for the runner at second on the base hit by Jones.
Yeah, there's not much Paredes can do there. You know, when you get at second base, you always look at the outfield and see how deep they're playing. This ball right toward the end of the bat, and it was hit high, so it was hard for the runner at second base to figure out if that ball's going to be caught. So he starts back to the bag. I don't think you consider that a base running mistake.
So a base hit for Adam Jones, first and second, one out. Chris Davis and a sac fly to right field in the first inning. Now he takes ball one, and Hannigan headed out to talk to Masterson. Two and 0. Davis with 3 home runs so far in the season. As he bats now, Travis Snyder in behind him waiting on deck. Davis, who hit 53 home runs in 2013. Down and in again. Hannigan's got to really lean over to make that catch. 3-0.
And you know Davis is going to have the green light here. 3 balls and no strikes.
Masterson's pitchers really run in the fastball and the slider. Green light, and it is knocked down at first by Napoli. He will flip to Masterson, who covers for the out. Nice play by Masterson to get over there in a hurry, and a nice job by Napoli to knock that down. A hot shot and a bullet at Napoli at first base.
Yeah, fortunately, Napoli was pretty close to that line and is able to knock that ball down. That was a rocket by Davis on the 3-0 count. But you see Napoli not even the pitch yet. There he is, close to the line, and then Masterson does his job by covering the bag. So Napoli saves a run right there, and maybe a couple if it gets by him and down that line.
Second and third, 2 down, and Travis Snyder with a big opportunity here for the Orioles in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He takes strike 1. Masterson able to induce a ground ball to shortstop from Travis Snyder in the 1st inning. Paredes at third, Jones at second, 2 down. Down and in. 2 balls and a strike now to Snyder. I saw plenty of Travis Snyder when he was a member of the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Pittsburgh Pirates as well. Last 3 seasons with Pittsburgh, after breaking in the big leagues with the Jays in 2008. Down and in, and a swing and a miss, 2-2.
Wow. A lot of movement on this slide, and what a play by Hannigan, again, reaching all the way across his body with the man at third base. He's able to catch that ball and save a run.
Machado waiting on deck for Baltimore. 2 outs, runners at second and third in a tie game. Strike 3 call. Late call from Will Little. Masterson will take it as Snyder can't believe it. First K of the night couldn't have come at a better time for Masterson. things are happening to local people at easternbank.com/goodthingshappen. It's on to the fourth inning. Game tied 2-2. And David Ortiz leading it off and taking strike one. David struck out swinging in the first inning. One of three strikeouts for Wei-Yin Chen so far tonight. Orioles in the shift on the right side with Navarro stepping back into shallow right field. And Snyder pretty deep in right. So he's fouling it off to the left out of play.
Ortiz with great numbers against Chen came into the game at .348 with a home run against him. Struck out in his first at bat.
Ramirez and Mike Napoli all part of this top of the fourth inning. Chano gets about as far as you can on the third base side of the rubber. Ready with a 2-2 pitch. And Ortiz will take a ball. Looked like Will Little flinched there a little bit, like he wanted to call that a strike.
Yeah, that was very close. Just at the bottom of the strike zone.
Ortiz hits a fly ball to center field. Adam Jones is there. Now backpedaling to make the catch. Got fooled a little bit on that fly ball, but it's the first out of the fourth. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox, never forgets that before you're a patient, you're a person. Beth Israel Deaconess, human first. Learn more at bidmc.org/human first. Kind of unusual. In between innings, a manager talking to the starting pitcher, and Farrell and Masterson talked for a good while in between innings.
Yeah, that pitching coach never really leaves you, does it?
Guess not. Generally, you see the starting pitcher on one end of the dugout and the manager on the other until it is the end of your outing for the most part. The one is fouled sharply beyond the Orioles dugout. But as we know, Justin Masterson, his emotions really don't change very much. I mean, he's a guy that you could talk to probably in the middle of a start without any kind of problem.
Yeah, pretty calm. Doesn't change his demeanor very much.
Right side and through into right field. A base hit for Hanley Ramirez. Send it down to Sarah.
So Mike Napoli led the Sox with 6 home runs during spring training, but it wasn't until his last at-bat that he finally got his first home run of the season. And earlier we were talking in the clubhouse about the dry spell, and he said, you know, he wasn't going to let it frustrate him whatsoever, because he said if he did get frustrated, it wasn't going to do him any good. So being calm, cool, and collected at the plate tonight obviously paid off for him.
Well, certainly good to get that off his back, going this deep into April without his first home run after 6 during the spring, and that'll feel good for Napoli. Not only that, but it came at a great time, tying the game 2-2. The Red Sox got down early. On the ground and through by the dive of Machado into left field. Hanley Ramirez will move up to second base on the single for Mike Napoli.
That's a changeup that time, a high changeup from Chen, and Napoli able to get on top of it and move it past Machado at third base for the base hit. See the location of that pitch right there. Not exactly where you want to throw that changeup. You're lucky it stayed in the ballpark. One out, first and second is Pablo Sandoval.
Flight out to Alejandro Diaz, left field in the second inning. In the dirt for ball one. Well, Craig getting the start tonight in right field, waits on deck. In there for a strike, and it's 1-1. In the air to shallow right as Snyder moves in. Takes care of Sandoval, and that's out number 2 of the inning. No advance for the base runners. I want to remind you to stay tuned tonight following WB Mason Extra Innings Live for Red Sox Final, presented by Uno's. Adam Pellerin and Jim Rice will have highlights of college baseball game today between Florida A&M and North Carolina Central this afternoon, played at Fenway Park. Two down, runners at first and second. Here is Alan Craig, who grounded out to the shortstop Everett Cabrera in the second inning. In there for strike one. Craig didn't think so. He's getting the arms out of the way, and all of a sudden it's called a strike. Not buying it.
Just shaking his head after that pitch. Up and in.
Too far inside that time.
Just seems to me like it's been a trend on this year where we've seen more high strikes called than we have in quite some time.
Really, since they made it kind of an initiative some years ago.
And you know, it's not a bad idea at all. Call strikes.
Seems simple enough. Craig lines it into left field for a base hit. Hanley Ramirez going to be waved around. They're going to try it. Throw to the plate is going to be in time, and Ramirez is out. And Hanley slow to get up. Thrown out by quite a bit as it turns out. This game remains tied 2-2. New technology that puts your needs first. See what's new at easternbank.com. Here, you're first. Eastern Bank.
Well, the Red Sox trying to be aggressive, but it does not pay off this time. It's still a 2-2 ball game. Diaz had that ball as Ramirez was just about at third base, but still sent by Butterfield and never reached home plate. Slides in feet first and got blocked very nicely at home plate by Caleb Joseph. Down goes the knee, and you can see that Hanley never really touched home plate.
Hanley all right as he's back in left field, and here's Manny Machado to lead it off for the Orioles. Machado, Navarro, and Joseph. As a pitch will miss from Justin Masterson.
Ramirez did not run through a stop sign that particular time like he did earlier in this road trip. He had the green light to go. Ryan Butterfield trying to take a chance with 2 outs.
Machado, it's a squibber. It's got all kinds of spin on it, but Masterson will pick it up and throw to first in time to get Machado. Tuesday, May 5th is Carlton Fisk bobblehead night at Fenway Park. All fans in attendance will receive a free Carlton Fisk bobblehead presented by Sports Authority. Visit redsox.com promos for more info and to purchase your tickets now. 1 out here in the last of the 4th inning for Ray Navarro. Navarro popping out. The shortstop Xander Bogarts in the 2nd inning. And a ball in on the grass at 3rd. Played by Hannigan, but called a ball just outside. So far 1 for 4 since joining the Orioles, and takes the plate, fouls this one back. 2-2. Caleb Joseph, the catcher, on deck for the Orioles as they bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Change the eye level there with a high fastball. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in. Second strikeout for Masterson. 2 down.
He really fooled Navarro on that particular pitch. Navarro, you know, with this ball running away as much as it does, sometimes left-handers are surprised when he comes inside, and it certainly surprised Navarro that time. That ball well off the plate inside.
Make Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. 2 down, 4 in a row, retired by Masterson. And there's Caleb Joseph, who pops it up, foul ground. Hannigan headed over, but will not have a play behind the O's dugout. Well, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abboud, available at Men's Warehouse tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Tom Karen and Jim Rice will have the latest news and notes as the Red Sox wrap up their road trip tomorrow in Baltimore. Caleb Joseph with 2 outs. Takes strike 1, 2. 0-2.
You keep trying. 1, 2, 3. You get it.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't strike
right.
3, but it wasn't strike 1. It was strike 2. Did he go? Yes, he did. Rung up by Toby Basner, first base umpire. Back-to-back Ks for Masterson, 3 in all. It's 2-2 at the end of 4. the perfect addition to your starting lineup. And now 50% off. Get yours today from none other than who but W.B. Mason. Justin Masterson, fresh off his first 1-2-3 inning of his outing. Game remains tied 2-2 into the 5th inning, and Xander Bogarts to lead it off here for the Red Sox. Xander popping out to Ray Navarro at second base in the 2nd inning, 0 for 1. And he'll take ball 1 from Wei-Yin Chen. Bogarts, Hannigan, and Betts works out to be 8-9-1. The Red Sox batting order. Flared foul to the right, 1-2. Red Sox have scored now 86 runs on the season, 5th highest total in the American League, averaging 4.94 runs per game. And a swing and a miss. Bogarts strikes out. 4 strikeouts now for Wei-Yin Chen.
That Chen that time goes to the breaking ball to pick up the strikeout. More of a slider that time than the curveball, and Chen's control much better in this outing than it was on that rainy day in Boston on Patriots Day.
1 out for Ryan Hannigan. He flied out to right field. Travis Snyder made the catch out there and right. Fouled off to the right, out of play. We talk about Hannigan as part of the open, Jerry, saying defensively he's been very good, and really anything he does offensively is really kind of a plus.
Yeah, he's been. I don't know if it's a surprise because we haven't seen him a lot, down in Tampa Bay and all the years in Cincinnati, but he has done a nice job defensively behind the plate with this pitching staff. And the Red Sox, when Vasquez, before he got hurt, thinking of hitting him 9th in the batting order, and it's not they were counting on his offense.
Talk about the Red Sox offense, tied for the major league lead with 72 walks drawn. Time to the New York Yankees. Ground ball down the third baseline, foul. In fact, the Red Sox seen more pitches than any other team in baseball. .10 pitches seen per plate appearance. Joey Davis, a new Red Sox hitting coach this year. Watching Ryan Hannigan bat with 1 out here in the 5th inning. And protecting the plate, fouling it back.
You don't see Joey Davis around the clubhouse very much. I mean, he lives in the cage. During the early afternoon hours, prior to the game, he's always down in the cage with somebody.
Two-2 pitch. Hannigan hits a one-hopper at Cabrera. 2 down. Send it down to Sarah.
Tonight's Sox Culture is brought to you by Kettle One, and it's all about Mookie Betts. So, his favorite movie is Life from the late 90s, starring Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. Favorite TV show, Brain Games, that's on National Geographic. Favorite app, Twitter. And favorite music artist is Ludacris. On more of a baseball note, Mookie's 5 for 5 in stolen bases this season says his approach to stealing a base is to really just be smart about it. He told me he's gotten lots of help from first base coach Arnie Baylor and bench coach Torey Lovullo, who don't want him to, or they don't always encourage him to steal because they do have a strong lineup after all.
Well, Jerry, you found yourself in that kind of predicament in your career.
Yeah, you got to pick your spots, you know, and
fly ball center field, sending Jones back. He will have room and makes the catch right in front of the warning track. Halfway through, tied 2-2. Rough play on Diamonds in the Rough. The RBI program reviving baseball in inner cities that has 2,000 kids playing ball in Boston. We salute H.B. Hood for supporting the Red Sox Foundation. 2-2 the score as we move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Everett Cabrera, the number 9 man at shortstop for the Orioles, trying to bunt. Masterson comes over calmly and throws him out. So one down here in the fifth inning. Well, coming up here at the end of the inning, Jerry, we will get a inside look here as we do go to break. But along with the break, you will see the Red Sox box score and a deeper look into the Red Sox offense tonight.
In case you joined us late, you'll get a lot of that between innings.
One down here in the fifth inning. Alejandro Diaz doubled in the first inning, lined out to second base in the third. And on the grass at third, Pablo Sandoval. Outfield about straight away. Two and 0. Masterson has now retired 6 Orioles in a row. On the ground to Pedroia at second base. 2 down in the fifth inning. Also here at the end of the inning, you want to make sure to stay with us for Sox Culture. Check out Xander Bogarts. Just saw some of the Sox Culture for Mookie Betts. Xander Bogarts. We also have a trivia question mixed in. and some fantasy baseball stats. We got a lot of stuff coming up here at the end of the inning. Make sure not to go anywhere. Two down in the fifth. Jimmy Paredes hits a high fly ball to right field. Back goes Craig onto the track at the wall. It is gone. Home run puts the Orioles on top 3-2. Jimmy Paredes with his third hit of the game continues on his torrid pace. And Baltimore jumps on top 3-2. Third home run of the week for Jimmy Paredes.
When he turned on a hanging slider that time for Masterson, you'll see the location of the pitch. It's going to stay upstairs. Ooh. And Paredes did not miss that. Opposite field last time up, this time up, pulling the breaking ball for the home run.
Now Adam Jones with 2 outs and the Orioles now on top. Jones will slap it foul off to the right out of play. Paredes has been very impressive in the beginning of this year for the Orioles. To right center field, Mookie Betts headed over and back, and he'll make the catch in front of the track to end the inning. Let's take a look at the Red Sox box score. Sox ticket partner has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all the 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. 3-2 Baltimore now on top. As we play into the top of the 6th inning, and Wei-Yin Chen with the lead. His second lead of the game. Had a 2-0 lead at the end of 1, but Red Sox quickly erased that deficit. 2, 3, and 4 in the Red Sox order here in the inning as Pedroia fouls it off to the right. Pitching line for Chen brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. 5+, 4 hits, 2 runs, walk, and 4 strikeouts. Walk to Ramirez in the second, followed by the home run by Napoli. Now a soft grounder to first. Chen's got to get over. He does for the out.
Pedroia has grounded out for the third time tonight.
A good job by Chen, too, to regroup and get himself going toward first base. Left-handed pitcher has a tendency to fall off slightly toward third base, although that balance right there, very good by Chen.
And kind of a quiet trip for Pedroia, who's now 3 for 21 on the road trip. One out for David Ortiz. Into the shift go the Orioles. Two and 0. David struck out swinging in the first inning, flied out to center field in the fourth inning. Hanley Ramirez waiting on deck. Foul back into our left. Again, backing out of play.
That's two fastballs right there that Ortiz thought were good pitches to hit, and did not get either one of them. This went up just a little bit in the zone, but looked awful good to David.
In the air to center field. This looks pretty good. Adam Jones going back onto the warning track. He'll make the catch in front of the wall. Deepest part of the ballpark here at Camden Yards, back by the 410 marker. But Ortiz is allowed out, 2 down.
Ortiz had some good swings in that at bat against Chen, and when it left the bat, it looked like it had a chance, and then just kind of died out in center field. That's a long way out there. Ortiz wishing it out of the ballpark right now, but no, Adam Jones is going to track it down.
Five in a row retired by Chen now, 2 down in the 6th inning. For Hanley Ramirez, who's been on twice tonight, a walk and a single. He'll take the breaking ball for ball 1. Trying to score from second base, thrown out at the plate in the 4th inning, waved on by Brian Butterfield, but run down at the plate. Red Sox trying to get a run in at the time with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Now they trail by a run. That's a good pitch to hit right there, and he fouled it back.
Two ball, 1 strike. 2 ball, no strike fastball, I should say, and it was a good pitch to hit for Ramirez. That one was too.
I just didn't think so.
No, I thought it was inside.
Down here in the top of the 6th inning. Hanley Ramirez waiting on a 2-2 pitch from Wei-In Chen. It'll bounce in for ball 3. Strike 3 call. Ramirez not liking it at all. He better be careful here. Motioning here to the home plate umpire. John Farrell will come out, try to keep him in this game. 3-2-0s. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Back at Camden Yards in Baltimore, 3-2. Orioles holding on to a lead here as Chris Davis leads it off and grounds into the shift. Pedroia in short right with a throw that gets there in time.
Well, Ramirez didn't like a couple of calls down and bad. That one he thought was outside. So he points one inside, one outside. And he's lucky John Farrell got out there. The umpire tell him, don't do that. That's enough. Knock it off.
You saw his point, though. I mean, there was one inside and then there was one outside.
The outside one was a strike, it looked to me, but not the inside one.
Pitch for a strike over the outside corner here to Snyder.
But umpires don't like that when you start pointing around home plate.
My favorite Pedro Martinez moments, perhaps of all time, was he stepped back off the mound and showed the entire strike zone up top, side, right, and then put his glove out as if like, why don't you come out here and try to throw strikes? On the ground right side to his left is Pedroia. A little stumble, but recovers for the second out. It's time now for a game break brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. Adam? What an incredible beginning to the year for Matt Harvey and the Mets, for that matter. Incredible. That's after finally having their streak broken with a loss yesterday. That win makes them now 14-4 on the year atop the National League East. Manny Machado double in the second, grounded back to the mound in the fourth inning.
That's nice to see the Mets get a little attention in New York. Been a long time.
Inside, and Machado jumping back out of the way. He's got him.
Two-seam fastball right there, running back in and almost clipping Machado. He's able to dodge out of the way. Kind of figured Masterson to come back with the breaking ball there, but missed.
Ball four ends up losing it. That is just the first walk of the night, charged to Masterson. But tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. With last night's win, the Red Sox have now won all 6 series opening games this season, marking just the second time since 1994 they've achieved that feat. Also did it in 2013. Two down and Machado at first base. In the series against Tampa Bay, the first series the Red Sox had lost as part of this road trip. But winning the first game of every series so far still intact. Boston dropping 2 out of 3 to the Rays in St. Pete. Navarro takes ball 1. He has popped out to short and struck out swinging. Taps it foul over by the on-deck circle for the Orioles. Well, one more game on this road trip here tomorrow afternoon, a 1:30 start time. Red Sox return home to take on the Blue Jays with an off day Thursday. The Yankees, Tampa Bay, and it's back out again to Toronto. And that begins a long road trip. Beginning of May, Toronto, Oakland, and Seattle for 4 games in Seattle.
That's going to be a bear, that trip. Start on the East Coast and actually start in Canada and finish on the West Coast.
About as far from Boston as you can get in the league. One pitch in the air to left field. Ramirez going back. He will make the catch, backpedaling to end the inning. The walk is not costly. We're through 6 with Baltimore on top 3-2. Producer, 2 filmmakers from Worcester State join forces to show how a town band together to bring a sport they love back to the field. Plus, will 2 filmmakers from BU get the reaction they're hoping for from Boston film critic Ty Burr? See what happens on Nesson's Next Producer Monday night at 10. Like Napoli, 2 for 2. He has homered and singled. Run for Napoli, his first of the year. Fouled back to the screen, and it's 2-1. Napoli, Sandoval, and Craig here in the 7th. 6 in a row retired by Chen. Napoli skies 1 foul to the right. Napoli last year finished the year with 17 home runs for the Red Sox, 23 in 2013. Most he's ever hit in a season was 30, and that was a member of the Texas Rangers back in 2011. Now ground ball left side. Manny Machado throws out Napoli, 1 down in the 7th inning. Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings live right after the game. Adam Pellerin and Jim Rice will break down Justin Masterson's start. Whatever, whenever, wherever. Who by WB Mason. 7 in a row now retired by Chen as Masterson looks on. Pablo Sandoval, fly to left, fly to right. And a grounder to deep short. Cabrera throws off balance and in time to get Sandoval. Nice play at first base, but Sandoval's thrown out for the second out of the inning.
Nice play by Cabrera. He looks like he took an extra step, a step he didn't want to take. Looks like he wanted to plant and throw, but then couldn't, and still gets the out at first base.
Two down, and it brings up Alan Craig. Grounded to short in the second, singled in the fourth.
A lot of fastballs thrown by Chen tonight. You see in the season he's averaging 59%, but tonight 80% fastballs to the Red Sox hitters. It's quite a difference from what he generally does out there. Mixes his pitches up pretty good, but tonight primarily that fastball against the Sox.
I wonder how much of it is game plan, because of course they talk about every hitter before the game when they're going over it, and how much of it is the feel.
I think
for pitch you got.
You know, I think it's a little bit of both, Don, to be honest. I mean, you know, there is a game plan going in, but if you don't feel that game plan when you get on the mound, you start going with what you feel. Pitchers have to make those in-game adjustments all the time.
To right field, sending Snyder back onto the track to make the catch right in front of the wall. Craig making good contact, but is retired. It's 3-2 Baltimore. Three starts, 1-1 with a 6.08 earned run average in his last start Tuesday at Tampa Bay. Earned the win, allowing no runs in 5 2/3. But Norris 0-2 so far this year with a 17.42 earned run average. He's been roughed up. This closer look is brought to you by FWF. For an even closer look, visit FWF.com. Now Justin Masterson's pitching line brought to you by Ace Ticket. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, a walk, and 3 Ks. Up a home run in the 5th inning to Jimmy Paredes. It's the difference in the game. As Caleb Joseph needs a piece of Hannigan. Joseph 0 for 2 in the game. They get the hand again.
I'm not sure if it got the hand. Looks like it got stuck underneath the armpit.
It hit on the bare hand a couple of times last weekend at Fenway against Baltimore. On the ground to third base. Sandoval. For the first out of the 7th inning. Robbie Ross Jr. now up in the pen for Boston.
And tonight's been well pitched by both starting pitchers in this game, Masterson and Chen.
Now, Jerry, at the end of this inning, we will keep it here again, sort of, in between innings. We'll get you the Red Sox box score, a deeper look into the Red Sox offense, and also take a look around the league tonight. There's a fly ball to center field, shallow center. Betts there, and there are 2 outs in the inning.
So what you're telling me, Don, is we're doubling up on the L box tonight.
We're doing dubs. And not only that, but I can promise you this, Sox culture for Brock Holt is part of it.
Okay.
So you want to stay for that for sure.
Okay. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be here.
2 down in the 7th inning. Alejandro Diaz. A double in the first, lined out in the third, grounded out in the 5th. Look out, trying to get out of the way, and is a hit batsman down to first base. He goes. They checked to see if he swung. He did not. Checking with Dana DeMuth first, and hit by the pitch.
And gets him right on the leg. It's really nothing he can do to get out of the way of that breaking ball from Masterson. Now the question is, does he take off and go to second base right away, try to get in a scoring position with 2 outs?
Action in the Red Sox pen. Matt Barnes just called up today with Shane Victorino going on the DL. He joins Robbie Ross Jr. There's Jimmy Paredes. First a check on Diaz. He's got a double, a single, and a home run. Triple is shy of the cycle tonight. In the dirt again. Hannigan able to grab that. Throw over. A little closer this time, but Diaz back. On the ground up the middle, Bogarts lays it out and can't gather it. Everybody's safe. Trying to get it on the transfer. It is a base hit for Paredes as Diaz takes second base.
Bogarts diving and then wanted to shuffle this ball to second base to get the force out, but as he goes into the dive on the transfer right there, drops the baseball. Had it in the webbing of the glove, and then it just came right out of the webbing as he tried to reach in to grab it, to shuffle it to Pedroia. 4 hits on the night for Paredes.
2 on, 2 down. Now you got to deal with Adam Jones. Another lunge there for Hannigan and a pitch away.
Masterson's had about 3 or 4 of those tonight. That slider that is really breaking very late and wide.
Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and a strike.
Jones sitting on a fastball on the 1-0 count and gets the breaking ball. Don mentioned very, very aggressive.
It's Diaz at second, Paredes at first, 2 outs in the 7th inning. 2-1. Inning started with Joseph grounding out, Cabrera flying out, but a hit batter and a single in the infield. Davis waiting on deck. I'd rather have him lead off the next inning rather than come up with men on base. Masterson trying to take care of business right here against Jones. Fouled off to the right, out of play. Jones has grounded out, singled, and flied out tonight. A 1-for-3 night for the Orioles center fielder. Tap foul, still 2-2. The battle continues.
Yeah, he keeps trying that breaking ball away too, and he's very close to getting Jones on it, but Jones just gets a piece of it and fouls it off. See that backside not in very good that time for Jones, but does get a piece of it to foul it off.
90th pitch of the night coming up for Masterson. Runner goes from second to third. A fly ball out to shallow right center. And it's Alan Craig who comes over and makes the catch that ends the inning. Let's update the Red Sox box score. We'll highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary. Game 18 of the season, the Red Sox beat the Tigers 12-2. Rick Wise went the distance, allowing 2 earned runs on 8 hits. Rick Burleson and Bob Montgomery faced the offense, each going 3 for 5 and combining for 5 RBIs. Xander Bogarts, Ryan Hannigan, Mookie Betts. Red Sox trailing by a run as Bogarts fouls it off to the right. Looks like the end of the night for Masterson. It's the handshake from John Farrell. Masterson with 90 pitches through 7 innings. There's a ground ball to short. Everett Cabrera. Bogarts is out number 1 of the inning. Monday is replica Fenway Park night at Fenway. All fans in attendance will receive a free replica model of Fenway Park presented by WB Mason. Visit redsox.com/promos for more info to purchase your tickets now. 10 in a row retired by Wei-Yin Chen. As Masterson getting congratulations. Right now, Red Sox trailing by a run. Action for the O's now. Kevin Gossman in the pen. Pitch number 100 for the first time this year. Wei-Yin Chen has eclipsed the century mark. Foul down the right field line. Out of play.
Very consistent tonight, too. His fastball hanging around 90 miles an hour. Throwing a lot of fastballs, as we highlighted last inning. And locating it very well.
And again, fly to right, grounded to short. A very active night behind the plate, catching Justin Masterson. And now heading out is Joseph, going back and forth with Wei-Yin Chen as to what they want to do here against Hannigan. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking, widget, and more. Every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Hannigan sends one out to right center field. Snyder is there for the second out of the 8th inning. Tonight's attendance 36,757. Again, 36757.
I don't think they all made it into the ballpark.
No, I don't either. You look up to that top left field deck. As Mookie Betts will take strike one.
Slow curveball that time from Chen. Haven't seen too many of those.
Gossman has now been joined by O'Day. That's down the first baseline foul. Eleven in a row retired by Wei-Yin Chen. Last Red Sox batter to reach was Alan Craig in the 4th inning. So going to see Matt Barnes alone in the Red Sox pen with Masterson done tonight. 1-2 pitch coming. That'll foul it back. Don't miss an all-new episode of the Ultimate Red Sox Show presented by AAA this Sunday on Nesson. We'll highlight the AL East matchups with the Rays and the Orioles and introduce you to Massachusetts native Ryan Hannigan. That and more this Sunday at 6 on the Ultimate Red Sox Show presented by AAA. The 1-2 pitch. In a shallow center field, out goes Navarro, and it's the Orioles second baseman who puts it away. 12 in a row retired by Wei-Yin Chen. Orioles have a 3-2 lead. Ortiz learns some hitting tips from his dad. Shane Victorino takes the hot seat in an all-new Small Talk. And tour Wally's Clubhouse at Fenway Park. Catch it all tomorrow at noon on Nesson Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Back at Camden Yards in Baltimore, it is 3-2. The Orioles have the lead as they come to bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Kia, and Matt Barnes into the game here for Boston. Barnes last year making his major league debut for the Red Sox, 5 games without a record. 2 starts this year with the Paw Sox. For his call up today, 5.63 earned run average. So a lot of them during the spring. There's a ball back up the middle into center field for a base hit. Davis with a single to begin the bottom of the 8th inning.
Davis likes that low pitch, and that ball was down by Barnes, and he just golfs it into center field on a line.
Now Travis Snyder 0 for 3 in the game. So the line on Masterson tonight, 7+ innings, or rather 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1, struck out 3. As Zach Britton, the closer, getting ready here for the Orioles. Masterson on the hook right now. 1-0. Swing and a miss, a ball and a strike.
Good fastball, 95 that fastball by Barnes.
First round pick in 2011's June draft for the Red Sox, 19th overall. 75 minor league games under his belt. Offering it that and foul tipping it is Travis Snyder.
Yeah, they go to the bunt, and not a very good attempt at all right there by Snyder. Almost like he was running down the first base. That was not a very good attempt at a sacrifice right there. Plus, he got the curveball, which also threw him off.
Matt Barnes, a Connecticut native, born in Danbury, Connecticut, resides in Bethel, Connecticut. Pitch down in the dirt. Did he go? They checked. No, he did not. On the ground to third base. Sandoval to second. On to first. It'll be late. And it pulls Napoli off the bag. They do get Davis. 5-4 on the force out. Let's take a look at the Toyota play of the game. And right now it is the difference in this game. Back in the 5th, Jimmy Paredes takes Justin Masterson deep for his 3rd home run of the year. 2-2 at the time. Orioles holding on to that 3-2 advantage right now, trying to obtain some insurance. David Lowe pinch running at first base for Schneider, and likely taking over for him for defensive purposes anyway in the top of the 9th inning. Rain is now starting to fall here in Baltimore. To first base, and back is Lowe. There's a chance for some rain here tonight, and it is starting. Machado takes it low. Innings pitched last year in his 5 relief appearances in Boston, allowing 4 runs. as a September call-up last year for Boston. The strike evens the count at 1-1. Go to first and back to the bag is Lowe. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning, Pedroia, Ortiz, Ramirez. Everybody gets on, Napoli will get a chance. So it appears the Red Sox have the right people coming up. Trying to keep this at 1-run deficit right now is Barnes, and there's a ground ball into center field. Lowe headed for third base, and he'll get there. No throw from Mookie Betts, and it's first and third now with one down. Second hit of the night for Manny Machado. Well, if you missed the Business and Baseball special that aired before the pregame, you can catch it tomorrow night at 8. A real-life NBA discussion of business and baseball featuring John Henry and Jack Welch teaches you how to build a team and win the game. Tomorrow night at 8. Runners at the corners, one down. Ray Navarro, the batter. He's popped out to short, struck out swinging, and fly to left. Putting on the plastic ponchos is not as easy as it looks. Foul to the screen for strike one.
Red Sox back at second and short, playing for a double play. In obviously at third and first.
Here they come in a squeeze, and it is popped up foul. Hannigan won't get it. So the squeeze there was on, and coming from third was Lowe. But Navarro cannot get it down.
I don't know about that selection of pitch for the squeeze because it's an 0-1 pitch, and there's no guarantee really you're going to get a strike on the 0-1 count. You're trying to put the squeeze on those counts where you're going to get the, you think you're going to get the strike, and as a squeeze, all you try to do is get on the ground. Doesn't even matter if it's back to the pitcher.
Two here to Navarro. Swing and a miss, and Barnes strikes him out. So big out there, 2 down in the 8th.
That's a huge strikeout. They try the squeeze play. That doesn't work. Barnes comes back with a curveball, gets no contact, and gets the strikeout.
Now they'll talk it over as they prepare to deal with Caleb Joseph coming up next. Game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Masterson, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. He's on the hook right now. Mike Napoli getting his first home run of the year. The Orioles getting great pitching tonight from Wei-Yin Chen. He retires the last 12 batters that he faces. Caleb Joseph, 0 for 3. Takes strike one.
And if he gets down in the count, you might expect the possibility of a double steal. I doubt the Red Sox would throw through.
Takes off for second. Kind of a delayed steal there, and just takes second base.
That was a delay steal, wasn't it? That's very unusual in that situation. But no attempt at all to make a throw to second. Red Sox weren't going to throw down there anyway, regardless of what kind of steal it was.
Swing and a miss. That one by him at 94. Barnes a little giddy up.
Yep, 94, 95 with the fastball, throwing it by Joseph.
Outside, fastball, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Barnes trying to keep this a 1-run deficit for the Red Sox. Opportunity here for the Orioles to grab some insurance. Second and third with 2 down. Back to the screen. We'll do it again. Everett Cabrera, the number 9 man, on deck for the Orioles. Outside, and he'll see a 7th pitch in this at bat.
Not missing the outside coming up very much, but everything away. Middle away to Joseph.
On the ground, chopped to third. Sandoval plants and throws. Stretch from Napoli is good, and that will end the inning. We'll see what Showalter's going to do. He's coming out. And Showalter came out, indicated that I think he wants to challenge this. Is now waiting is Barnes, standing with the umpires, and Buck has not made up his mind yet. He's looking into the dugout. The first base coach said that Napoli had pulled his foot, was the indication that he gave to his manager.
Well, let's take another look on replay. Napoli right there has contact with the bag.
They will not challenge, it appears. 3-2 Orioles have the lead. Top of the ninth inning, Baltimore on top 3-2. Dustin Pedroia to lead it off. Zach Britton, the closer, in for the O's. And Pedroia takes ball one. Britton taking over for Chen, his 8th appearance. 1.23 earned run average, 4 for 4 in save opportunities, 10 Ks, only 1 walk. 154 opponent batting average, raining harder now. As Pedroia takes ball 2, 2-0. Lightly raining last inning, a little harder now. Ryan Chen pitching very well in tonight's game, retiring the last 12 batters he faced. As Pedroia takes the strike, 2-1.
A borderline strike there on the 2-0 count.
Tonight's T-Mobile game changer, Ryan Chen. Look at the numbers tonight. 108 pitches he finished with. Ball 3, 3-1. Last year, Britton finishing 4th in the American League in saves with 37. It's 37 out of 41 last year. And he walks the leadoff hitter in the ninth. Boston Red Sox baseball on NESN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare on southwest.com. New Amsterdam vodka. Please enjoy responsibly. The all-new Kia Sorento. Visit NewEnglandKiaDealers.com to learn more. Sullivan Tire on Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. And by Audi. Experience the new Audi A3 today. Leadoff walk for Dustin Pedroia as David Ortiz now bats. David 0 for 3. He was struck out swinging, flat out to center twice. Tight, a little bit all over the place right now is Britton.
Yeah, he is, and the Red Sox in a situation now where they got 3 or 4 guys in a row that give them the lead in one swing of the bat.
For 12 against Britton. He does have a home run in his career. That's the Orioles' left-handed closer. Ortiz takes the strike. Prior to the walk by Pedroia, the last base runner for the Red Sox was back in the 4th inning. Fouled off. And it's 1-2.
Right on top of the fastball. It's running back in on him and right on top of the foot of David Ortiz.
Orioles trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Have a 3-2 lead. Nobody out in the ninth. They had a chance to add on to that lead. But Barnes got out of the jam in the bottom of the 8th. Now Ortiz thought about it. Did he go? No. Says Dana DeMuth.
One more look from the side. Good call by DeMuth.
Ortiz with a swing and a miss. He strikes out for the first out of the 9th inning.
That ball had a lot of movement on it. It's a fastball that's going to run down right off the foot of Joseph, and that keeps the ball from going to the backstop and allowing Pedroia to get to second base. That was a big block by Joseph, even though he wasn't intending to block it with his foot.
Hanley Ramirez has been on twice tonight, a walk in the second, and a single in the fourth before striking out looking in the sixth. First time that he has faced Zach Britton in his career. Check on Pedroia. Lead was not large. Downstairs for ball one. Napoli on deck. One out. Pedroia at first base. Red Sox trailing by a run. Swing and a miss. Fastball at time of 96.
Britton keeping the ball away that time from Hanley Ramirez. Knowing that Ramirez is thinking about one thing, and that's putting 2 points on the board.
Fouled at the plate, and Ramirez down 1-2. Rain falling in Baltimore. Ramirez on the ground towards second base. It is corralled but flipped wildly. Navarro to the backhand, trying to flip it to Cabrera, to no avail, and everybody is safe.
Now we found a couple of those tonight. Right back up the middle, and a nice play by Navarro to get to it, but then can't control it to give that flip out of the glove to his shortstop. No, it actually was out of his hand. He made the transfer to the hand, but the throw's going to be off target. I mean, almost impossible to make a throw like that from that kind of angle. You're on the ground, you're falling away from the bag.
Well, Mike Napoli, the batter, it's a base hit for Ramirez. Third time he's been on base. Second hit for Hanley. Napoli's got a couple of hits already tonight. Breaking ball almost got away. Slipping out of the hand of Britton, a wet ball right now. Pedroia at second, representing the tying run. Ramirez at first would be the go-ahead run. On the ground, back to the mound, off Britton's glove. Everybody will be safe. Nothing hit terribly hard, but very effective. Bases loaded, one down.
Now breaks galore here for the Red Sox in the ninth inning. This ball could have ended up in a double play had he been able to field it. But it goes right off the top of the glove, and nobody can make a play.
Well, earlier today, the Orioles working on a lot of grounders here at the ballpark. Bases loaded, 1 out. Sandoval takes strike 1. On the ground, softly foul. 0-2 to Sandoval. Right now, Britton could use something that doesn't include contact and an out.
Oh, yeah, he needs to strike out real bad or a hard ground ball hit at one of his infielders. Red Sox, the Sandoval will get hot from the right side.
Bases filled with Red Sox, 1 out in the 9th. Outside for ball 1. 10 for 61 his career with the bases loaded. 164, 1 grand slam. His only plate appearance this year, he has walked with the bases loaded. Sandoval grounds one to third base. Out at third. Throw to first. He's going to get away. Run scores. Here comes another run. Stopping as that ball must have hit a fan. Ball is dead, apparently.
What a crazy inning this is for the Orioles. That should have been the end of the ball game right there. And Machado throws the ball away. He tags third. There's the 1 out. And then a bad throw to first base. Ball caroms back off. Wow. Red Sox catch a break here big time. They've caught breaks all inning. And this Oriole defense is usually airtight.
Sandoval ends up at second, Napoli at third. Go ahead run 90 feet away. Now Craig 1 for 3 in the game with a single in the 4th inning. Foul down the right field line, out of play. All started the leadoff walk to that guy. Strike 2 to Craig. Xander Bogarts waiting on deck. The blown save here for Britton in the 9th. One and 2 to Craig. And this will bring out Caleb Joseph. Also the shortstop Cabrera coming in. On the ground, foul, will do it again.
Bad things happen in innings when you lead off the inning with a walk, and that's exactly what happened this inning with Britton. Walk Pedroia to start the inning.
First blown save of the year for Britton. Koji Ihara warming in the Boston pen. 1-2 to Craig. Bouncing in, got away, but it is blocked by the umpire, it looked like.
Oh, it almost looked like the Red Sox luck was going to continue in this inning. This ball had backstop written all over it. Deflects off the catcher, then off the umpire.
Napoli at third, Sandoval at second. Tie game here in the ninth. Swing and a miss as Craig strikes out. The game remains tied 3-3. Red Sox leave him at second and third. Yards. Red Sox tie the score of the run in the top of the ninth inning. Barnes back out there to begin this bottom of the ninth inning. He pitched the eighth. One of those runs the Orioles did not get in the eighth inning loom large now. Big strikeout by Barnes of Ray Navarro to end last inning with runners at second and third. With Cabrera getting it off here in the bottom of the ninth inning. In on the grass at third, Sandoval. Ground ball right side. Pedroia knocks it down and flips to first for the out.
Now that's nice right there. That's very nice by Pedroia because he's playing in close in case of a drag bunt. See how close he's playing? Almost like double play, even closer. And he's still able to get over, knock that ball down, and underhand her to first base to get it out. So he's cut his range down, looking for a possible bunt, but still able to knock down the ground ball and get the out.
One down, Alejandro Diaz now the top of the Orioles order. Diaz with a double back in the first, lined out in the third, grounded out in the fifth, hit by a pitch in the seventh inning. Ground ball, first base. Napoli flips to Barnes, 2 down. So a two-way Jimmy Paredes coming up. Double in the first, a single in the third, a home run in the fifth, a single in the seventh. Still a triple shy of hitting for the cycle on a 4-hit night already for Paredes. Didn't miss by a lot, but it's ball one. Swing and a miss. A ball and a strike to Paredes. Barnes done a nice job since coming in. First major league action of 2015 for Barnes. Raining steadily here for better than an inning. Barnes went to work on the cleats and behind the hill. Two 1 pitch. Paredes with a swing and a miss. Fastball's been good all night now for Barnes.
Good life on that fastball. 93, 94 miles an hour. That ball with a little movement out of the way from Paredes. Second time he's got him to swing at a pitch that's been away in the zone.
Fly ball down the left field line. Hanley Ramirez over towards foul ground. Into it to make the catch. We've got bonus baseball tonight from Baltimore. Game tied 3-3. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. 3-3 the score, and the Red Sox able to tie it up in the top of the ninth.
That's a crazy top of the ninth inning. Pedroia getting a walk to lead it off. Then they struck out Ortiz, but then Ramirez with a ground ball up the middle. They can't get the force out at second base. Britton can't make a play on a chopper back to the mound. And then Machado makes the bat throw to first base to allow Pedroia to score to tie the ball game up. That's how the Red Sox got it tied in the top of the ninth.
Xander Bogarts leads it off. It's a high drive to deep left center field. Back goes low at the wall, and it's gone. Xander Bogarts has put the Red Sox on top in the 10th inning, 4-3. First pitch he sees of the 10th inning.
Well, you barely had time to look up, and the pitch was coming in, and Bogarts was going out. First pitch from Gausman. Excuse me, not Gausman.
Brad Brock, new pitcher.
Brock, yes. And for Bogarts, his first home run of the season, a huge one.
Now Ryan Hannigan to right field, and this is going to get in for a base hit in front of Diaza. Hannigan's first hit of the night. So a home run and a hit off Brock just into the game. Xander Bogarts, his first home run of 2015. Explaining it to Victor Rodriguez. After Zach Britton had the blown save in the 9th inning, Mookie Betts squaring here, pulls it back and takes ball 1. Squares and gets it down. Pretty good one as Brock will flip to first base. A scramble there, but able to get his foot on is Navarro. Fancy footwork there, and up to second base now goes Hannigan on the sacrifice completed by Mookie Betts.
Yeah, you know, they probably wouldn't have Mookie bunting if he was swinging the bat a little bit better right now, but he's struggling tonight, 0 for 4, and they put the sacrifice on, trying to get an insurance run, and he gets the job done.
Now Dustin Pedroia, 0 for 3 with a walk in the ballgame tonight. His walk was huge. It started the 9th inning. He would come around to score the game-tying run at the time to push this to the 10th inning now, and the Red Sox have the lead. And Pedroia lines it down the left field line, foul. Not ahead of that. Bullpens are busy. Mattis for the Orioles warming up as Koji Uehara gets ready. Visit from the pitching coach. The ball is heading out there.
The home run by Bogarts, fastball right down the heart of the plate, and Bogarts puts a very pretty swing on it.
Red Sox have 5 home runs in the series, and of the 11 runs they have, 10 have come via the home run.
Yeah, we talked about the home run in the open tonight, and it's been very present again tonight. Last night, in this game tonight.
Napoli with a 2-run shot in the 2nd. Xander Bogarts with a home run in the 10th. Now trying to get an insurance run in as Pedroia takes the pitch outside. Jerry, with the concerns going on outside of Camden Yards, the fans who have been asked by the scoreboard in between innings to stay in here at Camden Yards inside the ballpark.
Yeah, the mayor and the police commissioner are asking the fans to stay put inside the ballpark because of conditions outside of the ballpark.
This was the message in between innings to the fans here at the ballpark. 36,757. Ball 3, 3-1. Pedroia batting now with David Ortiz on deck. A quiet night for David at the plate, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts in the game. Another walk for Pedroia. Second in the last 2 innings. First allowed by Brock. And here comes Showalter to make the change. He's had Mattis up in the pen. Yeah, Tommy Hunter's now joined him, but it's going to be Brian Mattis coming in. 4-3, Red Sox have taken the lead in the 10th. With runners at first and second, Hannigan at second, Pedroia at first, and the new pitcher is Brian Mattis. It is his 7th appearance of the year, 0-2 with a 3.68 earned run average. More walks than strikeouts from Mattis. 7 walks, 4 Ks, and opponents hitting at .269 against him. In here to face David Ortiz, 0 for 4 tonight. David will take it down low for ball 1. Against Mattis, Ortiz 3 for 25 in his career, hitting at 120. And a ground ball towards the shortstop, who's going to get a tag, and no. You're going to see yes, he was out of the baseline, and it's going to turn into a double play. Pedroia is arguing the play that he didn't get him. The umpire said he went out of the baseline to avoid the tag, and the argument will ensue. But it appears to be a double play that will end this 10th inning. John Farrell out to argue. And we'll see if he was indeed out of the baseline. Even so, it looked like he got him on the tag.
I think that's what Pedroia was arguing, the fact that he did not go out of the baseline. He fell down, and they never made the tag on him. But he did call him out for being out of the baseline.
Yeah, he made the indication that he ran out of the baseline.
Yeah.
Now define baseline for me. He's on the grass, but he is near the infielder with the ball.
Yeah, well, figure from first base to second base, 3 feet either way, right?
I think he did tag him too on top of it all.
Well, if he did tag him, there's no question about it then.
So that will end the top of the 10th inning. And John Farrell apparently not going to challenge here. The Red Sox get a home run from Xander Bogarts, take a 4-3 lead. is Koji Uehara into the game. His 5th appearance, 1-0 with a 0.00 ERA, 3 for 3 in save opportunities. As Uehara picked up his 3rd save of the season last night, going an inning, giving up 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, and having to deal with Adam Jones, Chris Davis, and David Lowe scheduled to bat here in the bottom of the 10th inning. So no easy task as Uehara comes on for the bottom of the 10th. Nice job by Matt Barnes. First outing of 2015 in the big leagues. 2 innings, ends up giving up 2 hits, no runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out a batter. And it is Koji time as Adam Jones stands in. Strike 1. Thought it was low, did Adam Jones. 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts against Uehara. Jerry, last night we saw an 86-mile-an-hour fastball. That one is 85.
85, and I think that's the reason you've seen a lot of splits from Uehara. That fastball velocity not there for him.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the past it has been 89.
Yes. 88, 89 generally is the area that he operates in, and you got to get back to throwing some of them because eventually these guys are going to go up and just take the splitter, which usually ends up out of the strike zone. Going to try a fastball again.
Jones fouls it back. 85 and at the top of the zone.
So far this season, fastballs only 10% for Koji and 90% splitters.
Uehara now backs off. Outfield deep end straight away on Adam Jones. A 1 for 490, singled back in the 3rd inning. Jones reaches out, sends it to right center field, running and diving. Is Craig, can't get it, it gets by him. Jones going to run a while. He is thinking 3. Throw is not going to be in time, and a triple for Adam Jones to begin this bottom of the 10th inning.
Adam Jones just reached out at a split-fingered fastball that was down and away and punched at it out into right center field. Craig thought he had it lined up, goes into the dive, he goes over the glove actually, and then gets by him. That ball actually went on top of the glove of Alan Craig.
So now the infield in all the way around, and the Red Sox right now the shift on the right side of the infield. Chris Davis the batter. And he'll take ball 1. Sac fly back in the 1st inning. 2 groundouts and a single since. Bogarts, Pedroia, Napoli all on the right side and all tight. Swing and a miss. Davis chasing that fastball.
I'm surprised to see it. I think 85 away from him. When you're looking for the splitter, you can be late at an 85-mile-an-hour fastball. Back to the splitter.
Davis hits a fly ball to left field, sending Ramirez back. Ready is Jones. Ramirez will throw homer. Jones will come in and score the game-tying run. Tied again. Sac fly for Davis, the 2nd of the game for him, and it's 4-4 now. Blown save, first of the year for Uehara.
No contest here, no chance here for Ramirez. As that ball plenty deep enough to let Jones score standing up.
One out, base is empty. And a pitch that is going to miss for ball one. Fastball. David Lowe 1 for 8 so far in the year. Came into pinch run for Travis Snyder in the 8th. Two 2-0. That's a strike. Back to the fastball again. The Red Sox take the lead on the Bogarts home run. Sac fly for Davis ties the game, and a swing and a miss evens the count at 2-2. Full count. In the air to right field. Craig going back, looking up, and the Orioles walk off in the 10th inning. David Lowe takes Uehara out of the yard. The blown save turns into a loss for Uehara and the Red Sox.
David Lowe gets a splitter that doesn't do anything. Just hangs out over the plate. And a guy that you would not expect to hit a game winner does.
So a crushing defeat for the Red Sox after they had taken the lead in the top half of the inning, after they had tied it in the 9th. A frustrating loss to the Orioles, who snapped their 5-game losing streak tonight with the win. Let's send it to Adam Pellerin.